Which agency regulates and enforces the rules for the amateur radio service in the United States? A. FEMA. B. Homeland Security. C. The FCC. D. All of these choices are correct. C. The FCC. Which frequency is within the 6-meter amateur band? A. 49.00 MHz. B. 52.525 MHz. C. 28.50 MHz. D. 222.15 MHz. B. 52.525 MHz. What may result when correspondence from the FCC is returned as undeliverable because the grantee failed to provide and maintain a correct mailing address with the FCC? A. Fine or imprisonment. B. Revocation of the station license or suspension of the operator license. C. Require the licensee to be re-examined. D. Reduction of one rank in operator class. B. Revocation of the station license or suspension of the operator license. When is it permissible to transmit messages encoded to hide their meaning? A. Only during contests. B. Only when operating mobile. C. Only when transmitting control commands to space stations or radio control craft. D. Only when frequencies above 1280 MHz are used. C. Only when transmitting control commands to space stations or radio control craft. When, under normal circumstances, may a technician class licensee be the control operator of a station operating in an exclusive amateur extra class operator segment of the amateur band? When? A. At no time. B. When operating a special event station. C. As part of a multi-operator contest team. D. When using a club station whose trustee is an amateur extra class operator licensee. A. At no time. What is meant by the term third-party communications? A. A message from a control operator to another amateur station control operator on behalf of another person. B. Amateur radio communications where three stations are in communications with one another. C. Operation when the transmitting equipment is licensed to a person other than the control operator. D. Temporary authorization for an unlicensed person to transmit on the amateur bands for technical experiments. A. A message from a control operator to another amateur station control operator on behalf of another person. What is the meaning of the procedural signal CQ? A. Call on the quarter hour. B. A new antenna is being tested, no station should answer. C. Only the call station should transmit. D. Calling any station. D. Calling any station. Which of the following describes a linked repeater network? A. A network of repeaters where signals received by one repeater are repeated by all the repeaters. B. A repeater with more than one receiver. C. Multiple repeaters with the same owner. D. A system of repeaters linked by a PRS. A. A network of repeaters where signals received by one repeater are repeated by all the repeaters. Which of the following is an accepted practice to get the immediate attention of a net control station when reporting an emergency? A. Repeat source, 3 times followed by the call sign of the reporting station. B. Press the push-to-talk button 3 times. C. Begin your transmission by saying priority, or emergency, followed by your call sign. D. Play a pre-recorded emergency or tone followed by your call sign. C. Begin your transmission by saying priority, or emergency, followed by your call sign. Which part of the atmosphere enables the propagation of radio signals around the world? A. The stratosphere. B. The troposphere. C. The ionosphere. D. The magnetosphere. C. The ionosphere. What are the frequency limits of the VHF spectrum? A. 30 to 300 kHz. B. 30 to 300 MHz. C. 300 to 3000 kHz. D. 300 to 3000 MHz. B. 30 to 300 MHz. Which of the following bands may provide long-distance communications during the peak of the sunspot cycle? A. 6 or 10 meters. B. 23 centimeters. C. 70 centimeters or 1.25 meters. D. All of these choices are correct. A. 6 or 10 meters. Which computer sound card port is connected to a transceiver's headphone or speaker output for operating digital mode? A. Headphone output. B. Mute. C. Microphone or line input. D. PCI or SDI. C. Microphone or line input. Which of the following can be used to enter the operating frequency on a modern transceiver? A. The keypad or VFO knob. B. The CTCSS or DTMF encoder. C. The automatic frequency control. D. All of these choices are correct. A. The keypad or VFO knob. What describes the number of times per second that an alternating current makes a complete cycle? A. Pulse rate. B. Speed. C. Wavelength. D. Frequency. D. Frequency. Which of the following is equal to 500 milliwatts? A. 0.02 watts. B. 0.5 watts. C. 5 watts. D. 50 watts. B. 0.5 watts. How much power is being used in a circuit when the applied voltage is 12 volts DC and the current is 2.5 amperes? A. 4.8 watts. B. 30 watts. C. 14.5 watts. D. 0.208 watts. A. 4.8 watts. What formula is used to calculate current in a circuit? A. Current I equals voltage E multiplied by resistance R. B. Current I equals voltage E divided by resistance R. C. Current I equals voltage E added to resistance R. D. Current I equals voltage E minus resistance R. B. Current I equals voltage E divided by resistance R. What electrical component is used to connect or disconnect electrical circuits? A. Magnetron. B. Switch. C. Thermistor. D. All of these choices are correct. B. Switch. How is the cathode lead of a semiconductor diode often marked on the package? A. With the word cathode. B. With a stripe. C. With the letter C. D. With the letter K. B. With a stripe. What is component 3 in figure T1? Its symbol is an arc between two electrodes. A. Resistor. B. Transistor. C. Lamp. D. Ground symbol. C. Lamp. Which of the following is a common reason to use shielded wire? A. To decrease the resistance of DC power connections. B. To increase the current carrying capability of the wire. C. To prevent coupling of unwanted signals to or from the wire. D. To couple the wire to other signals. C. To prevent coupling of unwanted signals to or from the wire. Which of the following describes combining speech with an RF carrier signal? A. Impedance matching. B. Oscillation. C. Modulation. D. Low-pass filtering. C. Modulation. Which of the following is a way to reduce or eliminate interference from an amateur transmitter to a nearby telephone? A. Put a filter on the amateur transmitter. B. Reduce the microphone gain. C. Reduce the SWR on the transmitter transmission line. D. Put an RF filter on the telephone. D. Put an RF filter on the telephone. What instrument other than an SWR meter could you use to determine if a feed line and antenna are properly matched? A. Voltmeter. B. Ohmmeter. C. Iambic pentameter. D. Directional wattmeter. D. Directional wattmeter. Which instrument is used to measure electric current? A. An ohmmeter. B. Wavemeter. C. A voltmeter. D. An ammeter. D. An ammeter. Which of the following is a form of amplitude modulation? A. Spread spectrum. B. Packet radio. C. Single sideband. D. Phase shift keying PSK. C. Single sideband. Which of the following are provided by satellite tracking programs? A. Maps showing the real-time position of the satellite track over the Earth. B. The time, azimuth, and elevation of the start, maximum altitude, and end of a pass. C. The apparent frequency of the satellite transmission, including effects of Doppler shift. D. All of these choices are correct. D. All of these choices are correct. What operating activity involves contacting as many stations as possible during a specified period? A. Contesting. B. Net operations. C. Public service events. D. Simulated emergency exercises. A. Contesting. Which of the following may be included in packet transmissions? A. A checksum that permits error detection. B. A header that contains the call sign of the station to which the information is being sent. C. Automatic repeat request in case of error. D. All of these choices are correct. D. All of these choices are correct. What is the disadvantage of the rubber duck antennas supplied with most handheld radio transceivers when compared to a full-sized quarter-wave antenna? A. It does not transmit or receive as effectively. B. It transmits only circularly polarized signals. C. If the rubber end cap is lost, it will unravel very easily. D. All of these choices are correct. A. It does not transmit or receive as effectively. What is the major function of an antenna tuner antenna coupler? A. It matches the antenna system impedance to the transceiver's output impedance. B. It helps a receiver automatically tune in weak stations. C. It allows an antenna to be used on both transmit and receive. D. It automatically selects the proper antenna for the frequency band being used. A. It matches the antenna system impedance to the transceiver's output impedance. What should be done to all external ground rods or earth connections? A. Waterproof them with silicone caulk or electrical tape. B. Keep them as far apart as possible. C. Bond them together with heavy wire or conductive strap. D. Tune them for resonance on the lowest frequency of operation. C. Bond them together with heavy wire or conductive strap. Which of the following is an important safety precaution to observe when putting up an antenna tower? A. Wear a ground strap connected to your wrist at all times. B. Insulate the base of the tower to avoid lightning strikes. C. Look for and stay clear of any overhead electrical wires. D. All of these choices are correct. C. Look for and stay clear of any overhead electrical wires. Why is duty cycle one of the factors used to determine safe RF radiation exposure levels? A. It affects the average exposure of people to radiation. B. It affects the peak exposure of people to radiation. C. It takes into account the antenna feed line loss. D. It takes into account the thermal effects of the final amplifier. A. It affects the average exposure of people to radiation.